go.
Okay. All right. Now we're good. Hey, everybody. We're already
Welcome.
having fun talking.
Oh, welcome back, Melissa. What an amazing time to be alive.
Yes, it is. It is. So what we were talking about before was all this would happen with Trump because that was outrageous. When never in the world have we seen such a thing. And now what I was wanting to chat about tonight was about this the king, when everybody's talking about the king dollar, the fall of the king dollar. So what were you saying before we jumped on?
Well, I said 3 years ago, for those people who followed me, and a lot of those people who followed me are still following me today, because I saw a lot of them in the past week in Ireland at our charity golf event. And they said, we were with you when you started. I said, they're going to shut down the world's economy for a global financial reset. Now, I didn't know the full meaning of what that meant.
Right. Right.
But we are now seeing the shutting down of the US dollar in plain sight.
Right.
The collapse of the US dollar. And the interesting part is, Melissa, as you shut down the US dollar, in the old days, it would bankrupt the entire world.
Right.
That's not happening.
No.
Because
they
China
got off the merry-go-round. The rest of the world's getting off the merry-go-round.
Yeah, there's only the Americans and the Europeans that are still stuck on the merry-go-round with the US dollar and the euro, which have no longer have any relevance in the world.
No.
Because the rest of the world is already trading on an asset-backed digital currency.
Yep.
Starting off with BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
Right.
I actually announced it first in October 2022 that it had already gone live and they're already trading.
Right.
And a lot of people didn't believe me.
Right.
Because it came in very quietly.
Out. Now it's out.
Now it's out.
Right.
Now it's
and
out.
Most Americans are just now they don't understand what that means because so much of us we just live in this little bubble.
Yep.
Inside America. Yeah, but we heard from the board, and I was going to share this screen, which we were told sometime in 2018, I think February 2018, gold will destroy the Fed.
Yep.
And there was 100%. A whole list of all the banks all over the world, they're not going to be controlled by the funny money anymore. I don't want to have my assets controlled by that. So how much less do people in Venezuela or China or Russia or anywhere in the world?
Yep, exactly. And we're seeing the transition. And what has happened is the deep state, the cabal, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, they put their puppets in place to destroy America. And it was done knowingly. And when the American people wake up to the fact it was done knowingly, then those people that are on the wrong side right now will go, hang on, but it's too late. It's done. It's already done. The US dollar, and there's plenty of although it's got nothing to do with politics or which side you are, Democrat or Republican, because both are as bad as each other.
I'm sorry, who's as bad as each other?
The Democrats and the Republicans.
Right.
This is between God and Satan. It doesn't matter which alignment you are. There will be good Democrats and there will be good Republicans. But sadly, the majority are in power are not good people, not good people, whether they're Democrat, Republican, conservative, Labor, liberal, whatever they claim their allegiance is.
And they're owned. They're owned.
Yeah.
Well, a couple things that I wanted you to hear about that I saw today, which are really, really cool. One is that back to the arrest is that, I don't think this way, but there are those who have been on the wrong side of the law. They have felt they were dogged by the law all their lives. And now I'm getting a taste of it because I can't say boo and they cancel me from here and cancel me from there and cancel all my stuff. So, but I have not really been in trouble with the law. But there are a lot of people who have in the African American community. They feel that they've been mistreated, and anyway, so now they have elevated President Trump to having street cred.
Yep.
Because he's being dogged. They're realizing he's being dogged by them. They're going after him for this and that and the other. And they're all of a sudden saying, hey, he's one of us.
Yeah.
He's got the street creds. He knows what it's like to be have the law after you for no reason. So there's that. And also, as far as the dollar, so many people in America are, up to their eyeballs in debt. So they don't really have any, many people don't have any assets to lose. They have so put us in a situation. Here it is. It is not a coincidence. This is happening during Passover, which is when we celebrate, the people being set free from being under the tyranny of the Egyptians, being enslaved by the Egyptians. And so, the people here are not so different. So they've impoverished the people in our country so much that they don't really have anything to lose. They've already lost it all. They own nothing, and they're already in a situation where they're having to own nothing and be happy. So many of the people. So I think what's going to happen is, this merry-go-round with the U.S. dollar and the euro is slowing down and slowing down, and everyone else is over here on this really fun merry-go-round called the BRICS merry-go-round. And I think that what's going to happen is when everyone goes over there, somehow or another, President Trump is going to say, "Oh, let's all join the fun merry-go-round." Because this one is clearly not working, and the Bible says that that they will be left penniless. The evildoers will be left penniless. They're going to be left on that merry-go-round all by themselves, and we're all going to go and have the trade, the free and fair trade. And I don't think that there's going to be, there's going to be it's going to be the main currency is going to be the yuan. I don't think that's the way it's going to be. I think that there's going to be, just like what we're seeing now, is that every nation will trade. Okay, let's trade between Russia and China. We'll trade with the ruble and the yuan. Okay, now we'll trade with Brazil. There isn't going to be one, in my opinion, one dominant currency that is the bully of the others.
You're absolutely
What do you think?
right. No, you're absolutely right. There's not. And this is why they use the word that each country will have its own token. And whether it's a dollar token or a sterling token or a peseta token or a dirham token, the one thing that's been said consistently is a level playing field. And gold. It'll be gold backed, and it will be 1-to-1.
Yep. There you go. Well, they just 3 different, I think, congressmen, senators, whatever, put forward a bill before the House today. Let me see. Can I share the screen so I can show you?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see if I can find that, because I wanted to show you guys that was on Zero Hedge. Okay, this was not the one. Hang on, let me find the very one that they were talking about. There's President Trump wearing a brick suit. Now, I don't know if that's a real picture, but Don Jr. posted that. I think he's not talking about the wall. I think he's talking about the BRICS nations. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I that's what I think. All right, so I want you to see. Then this is the post from that was on actually December 12th, 2018. Yes, gold shall destroy Fed. Way back when. And it's been a long, long time. This is post 3393, but they even, okay, actually originally it was post 2619, but before that, literally way at the beginning in 2017, there was a list of all of the banks, and we began to realize that they were all controlled. But there's one I wanted to show you. This is what President Trump just said just a little while ago. China is trying. Now, I don't agree. I think he's trying to just move people in this direction, and he's kind of fear-mongering a little bit because he's trying to rattle people's cages awake. China's trying to displace the U.S. dollar as the #1 currency throughout the world. Unthinkable 3 years ago. So he's talking about China being the global currency, and that should wake people up. Go, wait, we don't want that. But if this happens, and under Biden's leadership, it probably will. This would be the biggest defeat for our country in its history. We will be reduced to a second-tier status. Amazing. But then he says at the end, make America great again. And how do we do this? And that is like what you were saying, Charlie, everyone being on the same level playing field and not having, this one currency. Have you heard him talk about, they're like, well, how would you solve this? How would you cause there not to be World War III? He said, I could get it done in one day. And I think it has to do with this, because when everyone wants to have free and fair trade with each other, then there's no, and with certain rules attached, and no one being a bully over the others, there's no reason for there to be a war. So here was Putin today speaking, and look at that wall. It looks like a wall of pure gold, doesn't it?
It certainly is. And the one thing with Putin and Modi and Xi,
yes,
they're trading seamlessly at the moment. And it was a very interesting point that, of course, we started off this journey with Putin offering the asset-backed, gold-backed ruble.
Yes.
But Putin also said that he'll take asset-backed yuan, which is the Chinese currency.
Oh, he said he would take that also.
Yeah, he'll take that for oil, no problem at all.
Right.
As long as it's asset-backed.
He just doesn't want the dollar.
He doesn't want the dollar, and he doesn't want the euro unless it's asset-backed. He's not interested.
It's not that complicated.
And it's being gently moved into place, bit by bit, so as to not cause a third world war. And it's being done beautifully. There's a couple of points that people need to see as the distraction, or 2 or 3 points. When Trump was in court yesterday,
yes.
First of all, when he landed in New York in Trump Force One, they zoomed in on the stairs until he got off the plane.
Yeah.
They zoomed out when he got off the plane, and it didn't look like his walk. I don't think that was him. That's one point. The second point is the row of cars that were circling the plane. There was an ambulance in the line.
I talked about that. Yeah.
You don't get that unless you're a sitting president.
There you go. Exactly. That's exactly what I said.
So the optics are there for those who can see them.
Right.
There's a lot of people that are not seeing these sort of things.
Right.
So
Kim.com did a post like that, I think first thing this morning, saying, if the Secret Service doesn't, treat anyone like that except for a sitting president.
Correct. And in New York itself, it brought in 38,000 police officers for that specific day, which cost $2 million, I believe, dollars just to bring those in for that one day.
So what was that for?
Well, it made no sense. 8,000 of them didn't show up for work. They had blue flu, apparently.
Right.
So
no one wanted to book him.
Nobody wanted to book him because they knew it was a complete farce. And then I listened to Kash Patel yesterday, who was saying, "I hope this goes on for 2 years." Well,
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. He was hoping this carries on for 2 years because it'll expose everything. But I thought to myself, that's a crafty lawyer that knows he's going to get paid for the next 2 years.
Right. Let the cha-ching keep it going.
Exactly.
Well, and he was saying get the discovery. And that's really what he's wanted for so long, is to get this discovery going. Yeah. So here's the screen. Yeah. I was going to show you that 3 GOP reps introduced the gold standard bill to stabilize the dollar's value. Now, I don't know if anybody is going to do anything about this, but it's interesting. This is what's been the hubbub all day long. or at least this, most of this day. As America faces the twin threats of inflation and bank failures, 3 U.S. congressmen introduced a pivotal sound money bill that would enable the Federal Reserve note dollar to regain stable footing for the first time in more than half a century. So it's Mooney, Biggs, and Gosar, and those are all opposite. Awesome. Introduced H.R. 2435, the Gold Standard Restoration Act, to facilitate the repegging of the volatile Federal Reserve note to a fixed weight of gold bullion. Interesting how this all happens. They're given 24 months to publicly disclose all gold holdings and gold transactions, after which time the Federal Reserve note dollar would be formally repegged to a fixed weight of gold at its then market price. Federal Reserve notes would become fully redeemable for and exchangeable with gold at the new price, with the U.S. Treasury and its gold reserves backstopping Federal Reserves as a guarantor. Monetary experts have noted a return to gold standard would substantially curtail the economic damage caused by inflation, runaway federal debt, and monetary system instability. What do you think about that?
Well, it's a bit like shutting the gate after the horse has bolted.
Right.
I mean, first of all, the Federal Reserve, brilliant, lovely statement there, but they don't have any gold to back it.
Right.
Because all of the gold is being used for the quantum financial system. So they're putting themselves out there as in competition, which is, I want to do this, I want to do that. But if you haven't got the gold to back your position, and this is something I exposed them very early on about the Fed now and the CBDC. This was all originally, it wasn't going to be asset backed, but they suddenly realized that we've woken people up and said, unless you've got an asset to back your currency, then it's worthless.
Right. Look at this little tidbit right here. That's why HR 2435 also requires the Fed and the Treasury to disclose all records pertaining to redemptions and transfers of the U.S. gold in the 10 years preceding the temporary suspension in August 15th, 1971. So basically, what happened to all the gold? So, those little details right there would expose the whole thing. Of course, they never do want there to be any auditing of the Fed, because then the truth comes out that they've robbed the piggy bank.
Well, exactly right. And that statement alone allows the arrest of the Bidens, the Bushes, the Clintons, and the Obamas.
Because where to go?
Exactly. So we're gradually seeing it all unravel.
Right. And but this, what that tells you right there is that this bill is DOA.
Yeah. That
no one will vote for it because they know that it's got the poison pill. Of
course it has, but it's coming. Look, they know what's coming, and as Donald Trump says in his own words, nothing can stop what's coming. Nothing. And the truth of the matter is that the reason he can say that with confidence is because it's already happened.
Yeah. Well, and what tells you right there is that in all these countries, I was going to show you something else. I mean, so many countries are trading in this. Okay, so you've got the Saudi Arabia, joined in along with BRICS.
Not just joined into BRICS, but now detached itself from the US dollar.
Yep, that's really the end of it.
It is. They've joined BRICS already. They're already signed, sealed, and delivered. Saudi Arabia expresses desire to join BRICS. Really? You're already in, fellas. You've already signed up and done it. It's already done. You're already in, and you've already not just joined BRICS, but you've already detached your currency from the US dollar.
Right. And many times, whenever President Trump, everybody listen to this, when President Trump says, this would never have happened if I had been president, I think there's a double meaning to that, because I think what he's 100% saying,
double meaning.
He's saying all this had to happen with him outside of the White House, so the blame could go on them, which it clearly needs to. But we are having to take these extraordinary measures to get everybody off this ridiculous merry-go-round. that they have forced us into. So there's this, so there's that for the BRICS. For those of you who are new on this, is Brazil,
And
Russia,
Brazil, Russia,
India,
India, China, and South
China,
Africa.
South Africa. Yeah, South Africa. So so these are, and then of course this was a couple weeks ago. India has is, what was it saying here? They're leading the role in the de-dollarization. That couldn't have happened when President Trump was in the White House, because this man Modi loves President Trump.
Yep.
He loves him, and he would never have gone against him to do such a thing as this.
No.
While President Trump was ostensibly in the White House.
No,
Go ahead.
This has been an amazing pantomime. And
Yeah.
Trump and the indictment of Trump yesterday was a massive part of it, because it's moved Trump out of the way to allow the arrests of these other people that they can't blame him.
Right. Exactly.
There's also, just so you know, with the BRICS countries, Egypt has already gone with BRICS.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking, I had a list of all
I've got them
countries.
Here. Afghanistan, Algeria, Indonesia, Kazakhstan,
Mexico.
Nicaragua, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Senegal, Thailand, United Arab Emirates, Argentina, Iran, Saudi Arabia, which you mentioned, Zimbabwe, Iraq, Cambodia, the United Kingdom. They've already joined. The United Kingdom have already gone asset backed with BRICS, with sterling silver as their currency that they're backing.
When did that happen?
That happened about 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh, I didn't know about the United Kingdom.
No, they're keeping it quiet. Costa Rica have gone, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Panama, Bolivia, Chile, Cuba, Ecuador, Peru, Uruguay, Venezuela, Azerbaijan, Mongolia, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Turkey. Huge country.
Wow.
The other one that made me smile is Germany's gone.
What?
Germany's gone. So that tells you the Euro's over. And the other one that you'll like is that Texas has applied.
No way.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about Texas also is Texas said is putting rules in place that against having children being able to go to these drag shows. So that was good. Shows you Texas knows what's going on. Well, yeah, and I heard someone saying that if you everybody needs to get to Texas, which I don't know. So this is what President Trump just said. Trump says the U.S. dollar will no longer be the world standard.
It's not.
So, yeah. That was basically from that tweet. I think they gathered that from that tweet. So it looks like we and Canada and the few little, maybe Spain are the only ones still on the merry-go-round.
Yeah, there's a few. Australia, New Zealand are ready to move. The fascinating one for me was Mexico. Already, because that's your neighbor. And all we're waiting for now is Canada, and that really is the dagger in the heart, and that will probably just then people will start to realize that, number one, it can't be saved because it's too late. The reason it was too late and can't be saved is because they were sleeping. It was done while they were sleeping, and the Democrat Party put the people of America to sleep while they destroyed.
Right. Yeah, and this is one of the things that the president, you saw this? I'll play this real quick for everyone who hasn't seen it, because he's giving everybody financial advice. I guess he's not worried about. Go ahead.
He gave that 2 weeks ago. Sorry, a week ago. So there's only 1 week left, guys.
Wow. Well, and it would not be out of the stretch of imagination for this to happen during this religious festival. Now, the Passover is the kickoff to the counting of the Omer for the 50 days to the Jubilee. So we start counting the Omer. You count from the resurrection day. 50 goes up to Jubilee, and Jubilee is when all the debts are canceled and all the captives are freed. So and then at the end of Passover, there's this, at the end, everyone says next year in Jerusalem. In other words, we want this to be the fulfillment of the promises that we're talking about here for all the debts to be canceled and the captives freed. So I'll play this one real quick, and then I have something to show you from the Bible that I think is a great little piece of the puzzle.
Numbers. I am giving you free advice that those of you who are holding dollars, you surely might go into losses. You better do what you must do, because this market is going to be different in a couple of weeks.
This is the president of Kenya telling the citizens of Kenya to drop the US dollar. Does he know something that we don't?
Yeah. Yeah. So he said a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Which that could be 2 weeks. It could be a couple of, it could be a little loose.
He said that a week ago.
Okay. So before I share the other thing, so he means dollars that are invested in the market, right? He's not just talking about dollars in your pocket or in your bank.
He's talking about dollars in your pocket, dollars in your bank, dollars you invested. The US dollar will be worth zero overnight very, very soon.
Wow. Wow.
In fact, it's probably worth less than zero because absolutely nobody wants it. And this is why we've been saying to people, make sure that you've got gold and silver.
Right. Right.
And because there will be a transition period, and I've said this to my audience, there'll be a transition period between when we crash to when we take off again. Now, that transition period, some people will say it'll be 10 days of darkness, and it will be dark if you've got no money and no power, no food. It may be longer. I've prepared my audience for a month. And then if it is only 10 days, then they're going to be happy. But if I say it's 10 days and it's 14 days, they're going to be angry.
Right.
So err on the side of caution.
Right. Yes. And I've told them they need to have someone that, they need to have gold that they could get their hands on easily, and someone that they can trade it with locally so that they can, get what they need.
You don't need to worry about somebody you can trade it with. You don't need to worry about that. And I'll tell you for why. Because if tomorrow the dollar went to zero,
right,
and you wanted to buy some food with dollars, the shops would not take your dollars.
Right.
They will only take anything of value.
Right.
And this is why I keep saying I've got a stack of 1 ounce silver coins, because they have a physical value. They have a physical value. They are just simple 1 ounce silver coins. These ones are English.
And those are $25, basically a $25 piece.
Today, they're worth $25. But if the dollar goes to zero, they become worth what people are prepared to pay.
Right.
They might be worth $50 or $100 overnight. They might.
If you've got gold, you can switch it out for silver,
precious metals.
Right. You can switch it out for something in a smaller denomination.
Well, in the old days, they used to take snippets of gold off your coin.
Yeah.
They used to cut. Exactly right. That's what happened in the old days.
Right. Take a bite of it.
That's why I said to people, when you start this journey saving physical gold, keep it in, 1 ounce or 250 grams. The largest bar that I've got is 250 grams. Not that I'd love a kilo, but I'd love one because it looks gorgeous. But try and trade it. It's worth 50,000 euros. Right.
So, yeah. It's we know that there's going to be something that's going to cause a mass start awakening, and that's where we have to be prepared.
Yeah.
And I've told people to have, just the things that they need, their medicine, their their food, their water, whatever they need to have, so that they are not caught in a snag. All right, so this is the thing I was going to share.
Just quickly, I meant 50,000 for
yes.
like a kilo bar, whereas 10,000 is for a 250.
Okay, I'm sorry. Say it one more time. I missed you for a minute.
So around 50,000 euros gets you
Yes.
a kilo.
Yes.
So you're better off having it down at sort of 12,000 for a 250 bar.
Yeah.
Or 5,000 for a 100-gram bar. So
right.
The smaller denomination.
So a person who is, doesn't have any extra money to purchase this, what would you recommend for them?
Well, where I started, it's ever so easy to say I've got no money. That's the easiest thing in the world. There's always grass to cut. There's always windows to clean. That's what my grandfather told me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never cut grass and I've never cleaned windows. But I started off when I bought gold and silver buying one silver coin. But people need to make that first step instead of standing there. Well, I can't afford to buy it. I can't afford to do it. Well, maybe give up having a drink once a week, or give up having a box of cigarettes, or what have you. It comes down to, it's amazing when you look at lifestyle as to what you do.
Right.
What amazes me is how many people are short of money and yet they're obese.
Right.
Does that mean they're eating all their money, or what?
Right.
Really?
Right. Well, and also that, because even if you have silver, and this goes, it's a big problem, and there's a run on, run on the banks, but also run on the grocery stores. You can't eat the silver. So you need to make sure that you have something that's non-perishable, so that you have, something to manage for, just like you said, a couple weeks, for a month, really. And we kind of are accustomed to that because we have hurricanes here. And so we have had to, figure out what to do for, without electricity, and what do we, how do we cook? And we have a plan in place for that type of thing. So it would not be surprising if this happened during, in the next, like he was saying, in the next couple of weeks, but, between April and May. It just wouldn't be surprising with all this. Now they're talking about the fall of the king dollar. So here's the thing I was going to show is this Bible story from Daniel chapter 2. And these are all these empires that have been being basically the tyrants of the world. So the head of gold, this is from Nebuchadnezzar's dream. The head of gold is Babylon. They were ruled the world with an iron, whatever. This is
with a golden fist.
Yeah, with a golden fist. There you go. I like that. And then I wouldn't want to say an iron fist, but anyway, you got me. You're reading my mind. Anyway, so then the Persian Empire is the silver breast and arms. Okay, so then Greek Empire, which is the bronze, and then the Roman Empire was the legs of iron. And then I'll show you this real quick if I can get this out of the way. So then it got down to the feet. So the Lord had given Nebuchadnezzar this dream, and Daniel was able to interpret it. He knew about all these empires. Well, everybody who studies this book of Daniel, specifically this chapter, recognizes that we are down to the toes. This is where we are on the timeline of history. And so different people think, oh, well, it's America or whatever. And I would say it is the New World Order that has set up their puppet leaders all over the world. Now that we're awake, we realize that that's who it is, and they have been being the money tyrants over all of the world. And so the thing is, it's not pictured here, but it says this in Daniel 2, that this stone comes and hits the feet, and all these empires crumble to dust. And then there's a mountain that appears that is the kingdom of Christ, basically, that's established on the earth. And so what that tells me is that we're not going to have any one nation that is ruling over the others. And that's, whether financially or whatever. So, when they're sitting there talking about, and I understand what President Trump's doing. He's trying to rattle people's cages and rattle them awake, but it's not, I don't believe that the Bible doesn't teach that there'll be one kingdom that rules over there. It's basically the entire world will be the kingdom of Christ, and there'll be this fairness. And so this is for those of you who are new to this. This is Daniel chapter 2, and here the part where it says, the iron and the clay, the bronze, the silver, the gold were all broken to pieces and became like chaff on a threshing floor in the summer. Basically, just like dust in the wind. The wind swept them away without leaving a trace. But the rock that struck the statue became a huge mountain and filled the whole earth. That's where we literally are right now. This was the dream, and now we will interpret it to the King, Your Majesty, King of Kings. So here that was the dream. Now he's explaining it. When you go down a little bit more, that rock that broke the iron, the bronze, and the clay, and the silver and the gold to pieces. The great God has shown the King what will take place in the future. The dream is true, and its interpretation trustworthy. So it's this destroying this, where the world will no longer be run by these evil empires and these tyrants. And here's from Isaiah chapter 2. It talks about when the Lord sets up his kingdom, he will judge between the nations and set terms for many peoples. They will beat their swords into plowshares, no longer needing swords. And their spears will become pruning hooks. No longer do you need spears, because everyone's going to want to keep nice because they want to trade fairly. We're using their currency. One nation will not raise the sword against another. No more nation, no more NATO, no more New World Order forcing these little countries to do what they say, to take the jab, to steal their cobalt, to steal their gas, to steal their poppy, and have their country used for poppy seeds and all that, and they won't train for war anymore. How about that? I love that from the Word of God, that it's making that super clear for us that's how it's going to be, and not not this. So one of the big things, this about me, I just don't want people to live in fear, and because it's not good for your heart. It's not good for anything.
There are two kinds of fear. There's fear which makes you scared of what's going on, but there's also the fear that's in the Bible, or the fear of God, which means to know and understand. And we've just lived in a world of fear, just being scared because we haven't known and understood God's word. And we haven't understood God's plan. There is absolutely no mistakes in God's plan, none at all. And what we're going through right now is not a reaction to something else. This was planned well in advance, and we had to go through this process to drain the swamp and to set the precedent. And of course, they can't blame Trump because he's already been arrested and indicted. They can't blame him. So it's taken all their ammunition away.
They keep on blaming him.
They will. Yeah. They'll keep trying. But in the end, everything becomes clear, and that's where we're going through at the moment. We're going through the exposure. We refer to the Great Awakening, but this is the Great Exposure as well, exposing what's evil, and it's not nice.
No, I think that's really what Revelation is, the revealing. Yep. It's a tough thing to have all this revealed, but I think that more and more coming together. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is. For your audience and my audience, it's very, very important that they don't get upset by what happened yesterday, but they get invigorated and excited to see that it's happening. And for me, it was a wonderful day because it shook the tree and shook out all the plastic patriots that got upset. There's less and less and less now.
Right.
But most of the real patriots saw it coming, saw it happen, and were like, yes, we're getting there. It's happening.
Right.
And then, of course, when Trump came out at Mar-a-Lago and spoke, he spoke with authority.
Yes. And I heard he was up late in the night playing songs and having a big time. So he's not worried. And that if nothing else tells you not to worry, just keep looking at his face, because he's not worried at all.
No. So and the trim was missing off the flags.
These people. Go ahead.
And the gold trim was missing off the flags that were behind him in Mar-a-Lago.
I was wondering about that. Okay, I couldn't see them.
No, they weren't there.
I couldn't see the bottom of the flags. The way that they were positioned.
It
And I
goes
guess
all
I should
around
have
the
looked
side of them.
when he's walking up. You could
Yeah, well,
see.
you can see the gold part which represents maritime law, admiralty law,
Yes,
is
yes.
missing.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go and look. I'll have to go and look at that.
Yeah, and I'm waiting to get hold of Derek Johnson for him to decode all of that for me.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, and then for those of you who are new, go onto my website, freedomforce.live, because I talk about all this, and I have this book where I decode end times in 1,000 years of peace, because this is the decoder revelation. And I go into, that statue I was talking about, but we are just about to enter into the festival of the counting of the Omer. So right after Passover, just on the day of Pentecost, on the day of the Feast of First Fruits, which is Easter, Resurrection Day, you start counting. So grab yourself some. I mean, you can get pixie sticks or whatever, but this is like what the Omer kind of looks like, barley, and you start counting them, and it's a very hopeful celebration. And so every day we're going to be doing that on freedomforce.live, and you can see all the links, whether you're on Truth Social or Telegram or whatever, but we count them every day. So you count 7 weeks, 7 times 7. So then the 50th day, which is the Sunday just before Memorial Day, is the day of Pentecost, or the day that they say is they pronounce Jubilee, which is the great day of canceling of debts, which would be, I'm happy for that to happen this year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We're seeing it happen. Well, it's great to see you.
You too. You too.
This is very exciting times.
And so are you going back on another trip?
Yep, I'm off to Dubai end of next week. And then after that, I call it Bowie, Texas, but they call it Bowie, Texas.
Really?
Bowie, Texas on the 28th and 29th of April.
Can you tell me what you're doing there? Are you going to be at a conference?
I'm speaking at the Chaz Carter PPN event.
Okay, really? Okay, PPN is doing, it's in Bowie, Texas. And what was the date again?
And that one is on the 28th and 29th of April.
Of April. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, okay. So I'm going to be in Sarasota on the 6th of May.
Okay.
We're going to, yes. And Liz Crokin will be there. Mel Kay will be there. Mary Flynn will be there. Lee Dundas, Kathy O'Brien will be there. It's everyone go and support skippydoodah.com. Skippydoodah.com. It's where we're supporting the children who are for their restoration.
Okay.
And it's
the week after
beautiful
that.
Event. Say it again.
The week after that, the 12th and the 13th, I'm in Miami at the Trump Doral, and Donald Trump himself's going to be there at that one.
Really?
And Eric Trump.
At a golf tournament?
No, it's the Clay Clark event, the Reawakening Tour in Miami.
Really?
That's the 12th
What's the date
and
of that?
13th of May.
12th and the 13th of May.
Yep.
So is Nick, I think Nicholas said he was going to be in Miami. Is he going to be there at that event?
I don't know. I've no idea. I haven't spoken to him.
Okay.
But maybe.
Yeah.
Then the week after that we're in Manchester in England.
So that would be fun. Maybe I can come down to that.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
That's going to be amazing. I'm speaking there, yes.
Okay. And Miami. It's so beautiful. Have you ever been?
I stayed at the Trump Doral only a couple of months ago. Yeah, it's outstanding place, a beautiful place.
Right. That sounds fun. Well, I might have to come and just crash that party right there.
Exactly.
Anyway.
So
all right. Well, that sounds
exciting times.
Yes. Can we pray before we go?
For sure.
Thank you so much, Lord. I thank you for my brother and how he's fought so hard in this battle. I just pray for everyone who is in his channel and mine, that you just strengthen us and direct us, help us to know exactly how to help our loved ones and our everyone around us, so that they will not be afraid whatever is happening, and that we'll be able to help everyone through this, and just guide us, Lord, on how to just take care of each one's needs, and mostly just to be calm and to trust the plan. Thank you for our wonderful president, and thank you, as my brother Charlie said, nothing can stop what is coming, because this is your plan, and that we're going to enter into these beautiful days once we get off this merry-go-round. So I thank you, and we praise you for being the King of the world, because you are truly the good King of the world. We pray this in your great name. Amen.
Amen.
Love you, brother.
You too.
Always. It's
God
so
bless.
good to see you. I may have to come and see you. I just may have to come and hug your neck. So.
Definitely. It's going to
All
be
right,
very,
brother.
very exciting.
Okay. All right. Have a great night. I'll talk to you soon.
Catch you later. Cheers.
All right.